you keep your eyes on the prize, your prize, and ease yourself through the resistance cycle that shows up every time you dare to break out of your box and head in the direction of your dreams. Thank you for joining me today. Have you ever had that experience where have you ever had that experience where you're just tired? You're tired, you've been going for your dreams, you've been on your way, you've met with hurdles and gotten over hurdles, and you finally just gotten to this place where it just feels too darn hard. And you're starting to wonder, is this even for me anymore? You've lost track of why you're in this and why you're in it for. Well, I have some news for you today that I hope you find encouraging. That is definitely my hope. Let's quickly review. We've already talked about the resistance cycle. Remember, that's the cycle that gets involved, that puts you in a little whirlwind whenever you head in the direction of your goals and you get sidetracked, and it'll even, like a slingshot, bring you back to where you began. We've talked about step one, where you start feeling this mild discomfort. You're out of your comfort zone. We've talked about step two, or stage two, where you're feeling that active resistance. It may look like upsets, minor illnesses, setbacks. We've talked about stage three, where you start feeling this tug of war of your feelings. You're like fighting doubt, you're fighting worry, you might even be fighting some anxiety there. And now that's the turning point where it starts turning us back towards where we came. So I want to talk to you today about this stage four. That's the stage I want to talk to you about today. And like I said, this may be the stage where you're just feeling it's not worth it. It's just too darn hard. I'm worn out. I'm exhausted. I can't go on. You may be feeling some even more vivid feelings, even than you were back here in the tug of war. Now you're really clear about the feelings that are coming up: anger, sadness, maybe some real fears. You may be bumping up against frustration and disappointment, and not just the mild kind, like the really intense kind. And they may be getting all tangled up with ideas and beliefs from the past. You may even be in a mild depression because it's just too much. You may feel exhausted. And beneath all of that, whether you know it or not, this is often a place where our old baggage, our old patterns, the things that didn't work in the past, that have never worked, that aren't working now, they come up. And they come up so vividly and in such a sharp and painful way that we just feel like giving up. Oh, I hate this. I hate this stage on the resistance cycle myself. Just so you know, I go through it too, and I do not like it. So, why is this a problem for you? Well, I it's a problem because now we're headed back from where we came, and we're exhausted because we've been fighting all these other stages. And this is a long battle. And so now we're so close to just giving up, right? But here's the thing I want you to know. Even at this place, even when we're heading backwards, we're not even heading in the direction of the goal anymore. We can still make a change, and we can still get headed back towards the goal, and we can get headed back there with much more energy than maybe we've even had in the process. Now, this is going to involve a couple things, of course. It just doesn't happen by accident. It happens by deliberateness, by thoughtfulness, methods, and tools. So, here's the thing, at this point, more than any, I think you've realized that it's just futile to resist the resistance, to fight the resistance. There's no winning when you hit it head on. You need to be a little bit more creative. That's the thing. In order to smooth the way and get headed back towards your goals, you're going to need to do a couple things. And here's one of the things that you're going to need to do. You're going to need to see this as an opportunity. Believe it or not, this process can be a springboard to solve old things that have never worked and are never going to work to actually bring you your goal. This is a time to clean house, clean out old thoughts, old beliefs, old patterns of behavior and ways of being that not only aren't working for you now, but they would never support you getting and keeping your goal. This is actually a beautiful place, believe it or not, if you know what to do with it. Now, remember, I'm going to be talking a lot more about what you can do with it and how you can keep yourself from quitting 4 feet from the gold and going all the way back and leaving with your little pickaxe and shovel. We're going to talk about how you can turn that around and use the fuel of that to get to your goal. So if that's of interest to you, like, share, DM me, let me know your real questions about that, and be on the alert, because the announcement for my upcoming webinar, where we're going to really talk deeply in a masterful way about how to escape the resistance cycle, all different angles of it, that is coming up. I will see you tomorrow or the next day, where we talk about phase 5. There's still another phase in this whole resistance cycle. If we don't dig in and do our work here at 4, that slingshot has a lot of momentum, and it's going to carry us through to that next phase, where we can get it turned around. By the way, we can always get it turned around on any phase. It's easier the earlier we do it. It's easier at 1 or 2 than it is at 5, 4 or 5. But it's always there. We can always get that turned around. So if you are suffering in phase 3, 4, or 5, have no fear. I'm here to help you out. I'm here to help you shift that and get that energy moving back the right way. Thank you so much for joining me. And here's what I want you to remember, that the resistance cycle kicks in every time you decide you're going to go for it, and you get inspired and you head in the direction of your goal. That resistance cycle is going to kick in. I want to help you with ways to keep yourself moving in the direction of your goal at any phase of the resistance cycle, so that you can change in the way that you want. All right, take care. See you soon.